different businesses and work with multiple people and succeed over and over and over. That's impressive, right? Yesterday I said, Jared Goff has had 7 coordinators. He's been really good with 6 of them. The first was a disaster. The whole staff was. And I said, Jared Goff's absolutely going to be a Hall of Famer. Guy is still in his prime. Jared Goff does not get hurt, despite his kind of tall and lanky frame. I would say he's got at least, because his strength is throwing the football. And quarterbacks can throw the football. Drew Bledsoe could grab a football today and throw a 35-yard out. They lose their legs. So Jared Goff has got 4 to 5 years of prime left because he throws. He's like Steph Curry. Steph will be able to shoot when he's 50. He'll just lose his legs. Goff's a thrower. And so, when I said this yesterday, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, people just freaked out. So since 2017, 8 years is a pretty big span with 7 coordinators. Number 1 in the league in completions, passing yards, and big pass plays. Number 2 in passing touchdowns and wins. 5 playoff appearances, 2 conference championships. Again, he's still in his prime. But the 2 reasons why, it's so obvious. If he was a flashy player, you would all have him in the Hall of Fame, but he's not. So there's an aesthetic here. He's kind of boring. But if you think about why doesn't everybody get Jared Goff? Number 1 is first impressions matter, and his first season was brutal. 0 for 7. McVay wasn't there yet. He looked like a complete bust. He didn't know which direction the sun set. Remember that? You got to see it on Hard Knocks. So you watch this disaster. First impressions are really powerful. And the second reason you're all struggling with it is Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl the first year in L.A. McVay punted on Goff. First impressions are really powerful. Matt Stafford's first year in L.A. Jared Goff's first year. Powerful moments. Let me remind you, Goff was a number 1 pick and Stafford was a number 1 pick. Okay? And people forget this. The Rams wanted a reboot at quarterback. So did the Lions. Brad Holmes is the least talked about great personnel guy in the last 10 years in this league. He does not miss on his top picks in the draft, the GM. He does not miss on trades. Brad Holmes is great. What was his first move? To move off Stafford and to go get Goff. So the big game hunting GM in Detroit's like, yeah, I'll take Goff, and the Rams will pay some of the salary. He's turned those picks with Goff into home runs like Jahmyr Gibbs. But I think people forget that it's not linear. Jeter, Kobe, Elway, that's storybook. That doesn't happen much. One team, all those memories, loyal forever. Brady, Belichick wanted about 2 years before he went to Tampa. Montana ends with the Chiefs. Peyton Manning ends with Denver. LeBron's had 3 separate moves. That's typical. Jeter, Kobe, and Elway, that's storybook. That stuff doesn't happen. Michael Jordan, his early teammates and coaches didn't like him, and they couldn't stand him in Washington. He got Phil. It all worked. So here's the other thing to remember. That Goff went to a total rebuild in Detroit. And Stafford went to McVay, Andrew Whitworth, Cooper Kupp, Von Miller. Yet, since the trade, look at the numbers between Goff and Stafford. And I love Stafford. Goff's better at everything. Wins, yards, touchdowns, fewer picks, passer rating. And that includes the rebuild years in Detroit. Stafford took over, baked, ready to pull out of the oven and consume. And Goff's numbers are still better. And we think the Rams know what they're doing. So the Rams were better initially, had kind of a quasi one-year rebuild, hit on a bunch of defensive draft picks. Now, Stafford's had the better defense, I would say, on average. Goff's had, to me, they've both had great receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka, Cooper Kupp, now Devontae Adams. They've both had good skill people. Both have good running backs. But if you look at the numbers since the trade, and that includes Goff having to go through a 2-year rebuild, Goff's numbers are better across the board. But I think it just first impressions are incredibly powerful. And that first year, 0-7, and it was on Hard Knocks. And then the Rams punt Goff, and then Stafford comes in and win. People just, they can't, like, put their arms around it. If Jared Goff had a little wiggle in his step, if he moved, I'm not saying like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, but if he moved like even Bo Nix, everybody would be like, oh, yeah, it's a Hall of Famer. Goff is the last pure pocket guy we have drafted as a number one pick. It's interesting how it works. I mean, Caleb Williams, I think it's fair to say, has struggled with basic operations with the Bears. And people are like, they always lean to the positive. I like what I see. It is getting very interesting. Goff's not as much fun to watch. The guy is second in wins, first in everything else. And everybody's like, I just don't see it. I've said this about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, you can't take your eyes off him. He's so hyper-athletic. But he is a guard that can't shoot, right? Like John Stockton, kind of boring. Could shoot and did a lot of dirty work. But Stockton wasn't as much fun to watch. So, and that's just a lot of it. Goff is still in his prime. And because he is not like an NBA shooter, he's going to age well. Jared Goff's going to age well. He's got a great GM. They're always going to have good players around him. Amon-Ra St. Brown prime. Penei Sewell prime. They just drafted interior linemen. 2 of them look really good. J-Mac, what are your friends texting now?
No, I didn't look at my phone. I was trying to come up with a comp for Goff because you think he's such a lock. So I think the best I can come up with is Phillip Rivers. Really, really good quarterback, great regular season numbers, longevity. I mean, he played 17 seasons.
How many conference championships did Phillip get to?
No MVPs.
Yeah.
No Super Bowl appearances, but he had a 5-7 playoff record. Goff is 4-5 currently. So, I mean, Goff is on track, but
Goff is having much more postseason success.
I mean, 4-5 versus 5-7.
No,
so
but I mean, he's
on
getting to conference championships.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, that's, it's like Andy Reid was great before Kansas City.
But do you think Rivers is a lock?
No, I don't think.
Okay, so do you think Goff, is that much better than Phillip Rivers? The numbers are impressive.
It's not about who's better. It's about it. A lot of it's productivity. And if you go 8 years into Phillip Rivers' career, did he have the most wins in the league? Did he have the most big plays in the league? I mean, Phillip was great. No, you'll never argue. I'll never bang on Phillip Rivers. I loved Phillip Rivers' game. He wasn't very athletic, less athletic than Goff, actually. Yeah. But at the end, especially. Yeah. But when you start putting up these numbers, it's a classic example. If you keep succeeding, like anybody, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of Powerball winners either go broke or lose a majority of the money. Right. Some people do get like a great hand in life. They get rich parents. They're trust fund kids. But to me, it's always been about what do you do with it? Like, what do you do if let's say tomorrow you win the Powerball at LA. So you get about 5 of it. Okay, can you turn the 5 into 25? Most people can't.
I could.
They turned a 5 into 1, right? Or less than that. So my point is, Jared Goff got McVay and Andrew Whitworth. Okay, that was a great break. And he got to a Super Bowl. And then he got a great GM. But they were awful when he got there. And he keeps winning.
Yeah. The best case for Goff is, man, he got kicked to the curb by McVay, right? That was harsh. He went to a Super Bowl. And he didn't give up or throw in the towel or stink. He kind of thrived. And I think that's great. To me, it's a little reach to say Hall of Fame. I definitely am a fan. I think he's been outstanding. He's got a little work to do.
I'll ask you this. Detroit gets to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, with still 5 years of prime, will be to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson only got 2.
Okay, but again, Russell's a prime example.
Yes, that's why I brought him up.
Let's go back to the beginning of my argument. Who did Russell succeed with? Kind of one group of players. Right. By the end, Pete wanted him out, Tomlin wanted him out, Peyton wanted him out, and Daboll's not interested. So Russell had, like Goff, this really good run. But did he succeed with multiple people? And that's the start of this rant.
But that's what
part of what makes Goff great is 7 coordinators and 6 he's crushed with.
What hurts Russell Wilson is he struggled in Denver, he butted heads with Peyton.
Struggles nice.
Then he was in Pittsburgh. That lasted a year. Now he's in the Giants. He's been benched before September was finished. So
if you're close, like one of the arguments for Phillip Rivers, it actually helps him in this way. When he was at his oldest and the least athletic quarterback in the league, and he was, and Phillip would at first to admit it, he goes to Indianapolis, goes 11-5,